Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Another quick video. This will pretty much all be metal that I've been spinning lately. Actually, I think most of these are either recent pickups or... No, I guess it's still kind of a mix. But no, it's all pretty much recent pickups. So first up, this is just an upgrade. Really nice copy of All for One from Raven. I already had a nice... sounding copy, but my copy that I've had for probably a decade or so had some pretty good ring wear on it. So finally found a really clean pressing of this one. So really happy to have that one. Man, just such a fantastic album. These guys were just so fast. They don't get enough credit for how important they were to thrash. It's fantastic, the first few albums of theirs. I like all of their, actually, funny enough, oh no, I don't have it here. I was just listening to their newest album too, and it's fantastic as well. So, but speaking of old bands who I love their new album, I've shown this one before. This is one of my favorites of the year so far. I've been playing this at least a few times a week since it came out, 6 months ago. But Mean Streets from Riot. Fantastic album. I can't recommend this one enough. Just killer from beginning to end. If you've watched my videos long enough, you've heard me rant about that band. Next up, Accept Humanoid. I don't like this as much as the first few albums with Mark Tornillo. Stalingrad. I loved. Is it Blood of Nations? And then Blind Rage is probably my favorite of this era. I've liked the last two not as much. I didn't like this one. I shouldn't say I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much the first time I listened to it. I've listened to it 3 or 4 times now. It's really grown on me, and I like it a lot more. It's just not as good as Blind Rage was. I just think that was kind of a perfect album for him. Actually, so was Stalingrad and Blood of Nations. Pulled this one out. This is from 2012 or 13. This is X-Mortis, Slave to the Sword. Just fantastic band. So I have to thank Thor in Germany for these next couple records. He did an online YouTube auction, and apparently there weren't many metalheads on there because I ended up getting a few killer albums for him for super cheap. I'm pretty sure he expected them to sell for a lot more. People didn't know what they were, unfortunately. I kind of felt bad, but not really, because I got great deals. Punishment for Decadence from Coroner. Coroner is one of my favorite bands. I got into them very early, probably 1990-ish. Technical thrash, just fantastic. All of their albums are great. They got a little more progressive with each album. This one, you're just kind of starting to hear the progressive slant. They've always been very technical, but they kind of went more progressive starting with this album. But fantastic. I believe this is original German pressing. So very cool. And then also an original. Is this a German as well? This is a Dutch pressing of the Whiplash debut, Power and Pain, which is an all-time favorite as well. If you don't have this one and you're into thrash, this is a must-have. Just fantastic. I like the second album as well. I already had an original pressing of that one, so I'm really happy to have that one. This I just found this weekend. We went to Destin in Florida for Labor Day weekend to spend some time with my dad. And there is a local record store there that used to be a lot better than it is now, unfortunately. But I did find a couple of... I forgot to grab the other one. There we go. So they had 2 amazing albums that I'm really happy to have in the collection. This is a 1971 Terre Haute pressing of Paranoid from Black Sabbath. This is the earliest pressing I have. My main pressing, which sounds great, was like a 76 or 77 pressing. This thing sounds phenomenal. The noise floor is a little bit high, and it's recorded kind of low, so you have to crank it up. But man, the detail in this record is so good. It sounds great. But like I said, it's got a high noise floor, so you get a little bit of that hiss in the record too, sadly. But man, this thing sounds amazing. Really happy to have this. It was a super clean. He listed it as near mint. It definitely looks near mint. There's some light noise throughout, but it looked unplayed. and got a killer deal on that. So really happy to have a really nice, basically second pressing of that one. And then this is one I've been looking forever. This is my favorite album from the band, but this is a promo copy of Among the Living from Anthrax. Unfortunately, a little bit of spine damage right there. Not too much of an issue though. It sounds fantastic. I just played through this twice. Just an all-time favorite. This has always been my favorite of the Anthrax albums. And take that with a grain of salt, because I love all of the Joey Belladonna albums pretty much equally. This one just kind of rises just above the others. And then, of course, has Cotton to Mosh, which is one of my all-time favorite thrash songs. Next up, speaking of thrash, one of the best albums of the year, thrash-wise, and just in general. I may have shown this one before, I'm not sure, but this is Motivik, Renouncement. They are a Georgia duo. I believe they brought in a studio drummer for this one. I can't remember off the top of my head. But man, this thing is fantastic. Just killer, killer, killer thrash metal. Love this one. Been playing this one a lot. Keeping on the thrash and speed metal. Who did this one? No Life Till Metal, which is Scott Waters' label. Just did the first two Slaughterhouse albums. This, I believe, is the first one. This is not the more popular one, though. The second one is a little more popular. Most of you probably know this album cover. I believe this one was 90, maybe 92-ish? 91 when this one came out. This is the album before that, though. This one is fantastic as well. I had never heard this before myself, but he got the rights to do this from Metal Blade. I don't think these have been pressed to vinyl since 91. This one you can still find original copies of. I've never seen an original pressing of this one before. So really happy to have that in the collection. Rob Caldwell did a fantastic job. It sounds great. Another one, this is an album that, kind of Grail status for a lot of people. Original pressings of this go for thousands of bucks. I don't think it's that good of a record. It's more one of those that's just rare. But I've always been curious about it, and I went ahead and grabbed it, and it's a lot better than I was expecting. I really dug this one. This is Moonblood from Fraction. Ride and Easy Records did this. I think there's still some copies out there. They are pricey. Dylan from Noble Records talked about it. It cost him quite a bit to because it's got the cutout and the metallic insert and all that stuff, and it was pricey for them to make. He worked with Ride and Easy to make this record. It sounds great. I've heard some people got some warped copies. Mine is slightly warped, not enough to affect anything. I've got a vinyl flat, but it's not even enough that I'm going to mess with the vinyl flat. I've heard some people got some noisy pressings. Mine's dead quiet. It sounds fantastic. So, kind of buy with warning that a lot of people are saying they're having issues with the records. I didn't have those issues. It does sound great, and I'm glad to finally have this one in the collection as well. And then last but not least, a couple of huge upgrades for me. Actually, one of these I didn't even have an original copy of. But if you guys have watched me long enough, Sacred Reich is one of my all-time favorite bands. They're a hometown band for me. I grew up with these guys, and I wanted all of the really nice original pressings of all their stuff. And I think I just need a really nice copy of The American Way now, and I'll have everything. But and they pop up. That one's not the hard one to find. The hard ones to find were Independent. That one took me forever to find a really nice copy of. That was the main one that took forever. But Heel took a long time. And then of course 6 months, 8 months after I find a really clean original pressing, it gets repressed. So I will do a Sacred Reich video, actually, just kind of talking about the band and going through the collection. But picked up basically a near mint pressing of their debut Ignorance, which always will be a favorite. And then Alive at the Dynamo. I've always had the CD. I bought the Sacred Reich CD, the EP from, I think it was like 92 or 93 when they did the CD that had Surf Nicaragua and Alive at the Dynamo all in one CD. So I've always had this, but this is the first time I've had this on vinyl. So I'm glad to finally have this one in the collection as well. So That's pretty much it, guys. I hope everybody's doing good. I will see you soon. And take care of you. See you later.